sort of hard to pick a favourite in this match, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you would say, based on having won some tournaments, you'd perhaps expect Karl Sutton to be the higher ranked player, but actually it's, at the moment, Greg Batten's a few places 17 in the rankings and Karl's about 10 back from that.
Yeah, I played beside Greg, Greg played Vivek in his first match and spoke to him afterwards. He said he struggled badly, he said he obviously need to improve, so be interested to see how he fares out here against Karl.
Yet to win a Pro Series, but he's been getting closer and closer. The semi-final of our last event in Blackpool back in November. We had a quarter-final the previous appearance. Building up to it, could this time be the time he makes the breakthrough and gets all the way to the final?
Yeah, he's going to need a bit of, like us all, we're going to need a bit of luck along the way too, and they've come out quite nice here for him for the start. He's one real sort of awkward red, if you want to call it, but it does connect to the bottom two in the corner, so he just got a bit of work to do to get down that far, but we'll see how he goes about taking them out.
Same format as we've seen throughout the rest of the play so far today. 50 minutes on the match clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock. Nominally a race to 8, or if we get down to 0 on the match clock, the score will be the score at that point.
He's actually played this quite well. He's going to kick the yellow to the road here, isn't he? He's going to play the inside on down the rail and come out and kick the yellow, leave himself on the red. Well, that's the plan anyway. Oh. He's played on it straight. Very good.
Yeah, just about space to get through that gap. Yeah, I mean, he had quite a natural angle, didn't he, to cannon the yellow, but I guess didn't want to risk getting stuck to it.
Yeah. He just has to find his route back now for the red over the middle. If we can sort of come off the cushion here with a bit of side and go back out into the sort of the line on the table. Anywhere in that line on the table, he would be happy. He's really playing it hard. He's overhit it. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's a hard shot to play when you're checking out with a lot of side like that. It's very easy for the cushion to slide and you go wide of the line you want.
Yeah, I'm surprised he came long, because anything short, he had a shot at the red in the middle or even a double. So he's maybe just with a bit of adrenaline there, or maybe just sort of kicked the white on a wee bit further than he wanted.
Yeah, I think just trying to get enough purchase on the cue ball to get the side on, he just overdid the pace. Still got a shot, but it's not an easy one.
Nope.
It's always tough cutting the ball up like that when you can't see the pocket in the eye line.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, was it?
He'll be annoyed with that because he'd done a lot of the hard work and found the first gap that looked like it was going to be the difficult one.
Yeah, it's sort of, you want to get the first frame on the board and you want to sort of settle any nerves maybe you might have and just sort of get that sort of feeling that, right, okay, I've had a chance and I've cleared them. So now he's in the seat sort of a wee bit probably frustrated with himself. Good shot.
Yeah, that was a good ball to lift off the cushion. He's just got the one problem ball. Red's pretty straight and pretty central. Does he just play this as a combo?
Yeah, he probably could go into it now.
Play into it.
If he wants. The worst case scenario would be on the yellow to the middle. Oh dear. Maybe not. He's trying to control that. That's probably the best way, and it's just unfortunately come out really bad for Greg there, hasn't it?
Yeah, if he gets a slightly different kiss on that red, the red goes in and the white's nicely on the yellow. So he's going to have to play out a difficult one here to keep this break going. It's been so consistent the last few tournaments. He's always been a pretty steady player, but it just feels like he's found an extra level.
It actually really surprised me in the British Open. He didn't get into the group. He was in my group. And he had to win his last match against Jared Boyle and he lost it. And I was very surprised that Greg didn't get into that group. He was actually 4-1 up against me and just sort of missed a couple of chances to win the match easily enough. And just like that, as a D-cell. And you see him with a Q arm there.
Yeah, I mean, that was visibly a real D-cell, wasn't it?
Yep.
Didn't get through that.
Yeah, you can see it there, just that double hit. It's torture when you D-cell. It's one of the worst feelings in the game as well.
Especially as it was a good chance to punish his opponent, who probably should already have won the frame.
And now Greg's the one sitting in his seat, annoyed with himself. Well, I could have played that better. Left himself slightly high. Still should get it, like, but you'd like to have been straight on that.
Well, T goes at it, but gets the job done. First time out in the main match arena for both of these players. Incredible venue, this. Don't know how you found it so far playing, Rab, but an amazing arena, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something special when you walk into it. We arrived here last night and we sort of seen part of the setup, and it's just simply phenomenal to have 72 tables in one arena, and then walk in here and see what they've done with the pro arena. It's just it should change the face of English 8 ball, to be honest. It's like every player should be aspiring to play in that room there, whether it be on the main table or these streaming tables. It's simply phenomenal, and definitely gives you a buzz when you walk out there knowing that, you know, you're actually playing in something special. So long may it continue as well, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's a phenomenal step forward, isn't it? This match we're looking at there is on one of the outside arena tables. There's 4 tables just situated around this main table, and a load more, 15 in total in this room, and as you say, 72 next door. And
yeah,
incredible scenes.
Yeah, and even what's a nice touch for the pros is that we've got 3 tables. Oh, screwed straight in. Greg will be annoyed with that. We've got 3 tables that we can practice on. You know, that wee sort of pro lounge area is again another special touch whenever you come in and you have that area to go and sit and chill and get the arm going 5 minutes before the match. So that's a real nice touch too.
Well, Greg needs to get his arm going. Normally such a consistent cueist and such a great timer of the ball, but bad mistake at the end of the previous frame, and hasn't hit that break as well as he'd have liked.
Exactly what he said to me before. He says he struggled badly, so it's kicked on that way at the start of this match too. But race to 8, it can change very quickly, as we know, very easily. One missed ball or one maybe fluke just changes your whole mindset. So yeah, there's a long way to go for Greg Gittin. Hopefully he can dig himself out of that sort of thought process.
Yeah, it's frustrating because he ended this last season so well. He's getting better and better in the Pro Series, and it felt like it was only a matter of time before he got through. Probably turned up with a slightly different mindset this season, thinking he should do better given how it ended.
Yeah, it's so tight too. I mean, you look around the pro players. There's not really anybody you're going to go in there and say, especially first to 8. You know, anybody can blow you away first to 8. So it's so tough. That's not what he played. I think he was trying to hold it maybe for the red that's beside the black and the yellow. I think it goes to the right hand corner. But he's now a bit of work to do, hasn't he?
He's generally very good with these positions, but things get a bit fiddly. He always just seems to find a way.
Yeah.
Seems to travel with the cue ball either way.
Is he going to the middle? Trying to avoid the yellows. No, I didn't think the yellows were viable. He's still got a sort of a weird shot that he can play here with the red off the yellow, because it can sort of going to go in that direction, and he's going to be left in the red on the bottom of the rail. So I expect that's the one he's going to play. I don't see him moving the one off the cushion. Again, see how Karl, yeah. He's sort of got a free go at this nearly, if you want to call it. Just about hit a cushion.
Yeah, had to be careful there because the 8 ball was always going to track towards the corner.
Yeah. Greg's got serious work to do here. Sort of 3 balls, so all tied up on the left hand side of the table. So.
I'd like to be able to play a loss of turn on the one in the middle, but it's going to be hard to get the cue ball in a place where he doesn't leave a shot at either of the other 2.
Yeah, and they all go too. Every one on goes, so he has, as you say, he can't just. Is there a chance to play this yellow and play the red and put the white on the side cush? And behind the other yellow, I think that's what he's playing, is he? Yeah.
played that fairly well. It was going to be tough to not leave any kind of shot at the one at the bottom, but he's made it hard at least.
Yeah, he's at least given himself another shot in the game to try and manufacture something. I'm not sure if Karl can just roll on top of this red, and he's going to try and put it in front of the black, maybe, is he? Oh, he's really got the pocket. Greg's a chance.
Yeah, and this time it's a simpler equation for him. He knows he's got to make something happen. Even though it's a race to 8, these early frames are so important in a match like this.
Absolutely. Especially for me personally, it's mentality. Your mentality, sort of trying to sort of have yourself in a focused mindset to try and at least feel that you're part of the game. The last thing you want to do is go 2 or 3-0 down, and then you sort of start reaching for things that aren't there, and then all of a sudden that wall becomes bigger to climb.
Yeah, it's exactly that, isn't it? If it takes you a few frames to win it, it just starts to become harder and harder to get the first one.
Yeah, and then you find yourself down a hole, and you're like, I'm 4 or 5-0 down here, and everything you see becomes harder. It's a horrible place out there sometimes too.
It's going to be interesting to see how the new players, 15 new pros this season, quite a mix, like some experienced names and some newer ones that people won't be so familiar with.
Yeah, like myself.
Well, no, I think I'd maybe have you in the former category. I mean, it must be exciting times though, because you guys will all have watched this and seen how great the Pro Series is to have a chance to be out there competing.
Absolutely, it's why I've played for. Is it? Oh, it's a good shot. Don't want to be in a bit of trouble, like, but yeah, it's why I've played for, I think it's 3-4 years now, to try and get myself to the stage and give myself the best go. Didn't work out too well earlier on. Lost 8-6 to John Rowe, but it's just one of those things. You know you're going to come here and lose matches. You just have to refocus and go for the second one. But as an amateur coming last year to this to be a pro, it's honestly phenomenal. The sort of like the setup and the buzz about it is just unreal.
Did you set yourself a target coming into it, or is it just a case of give as good an account as you can?
Yeah, this is some effort here. Oh my goodness, what a shot! That's unbelievable for the highlight reel there. I know, even if he fouls here though, he's still in trouble. But what a shot that was. No, Mark, to answer your question, no targets at all. I just turn up, and if I feel good and play good, I'm happy. I've never really been a target setter. I've never really had that thought process. Maybe I should. I don't know, but no, we just take each game as it comes. I know it's a cliche, but that's the way I look at it.
Well, I think it's tough. I mean, last year it might have been a reasonable target to set yourself to turn pro. I mean, it would have been a stretch target, obviously, for everyone. But like in this, you can't turn up saying I'm going to make the quarters, because you could just have a difficult draw.
Yeah. Well, I think that the amateur ones is a pretty obvious. You're playing the game to get to that stage. So that's that target. Everybody's got that target. It's not an individual thing. But that's close. But as far as that's a good shot. As far as when you turn the Pro Series, I know that I can turn up and beat anybody in the world first 8, and I also know that I can turn up and lose to anybody first 8. So in that sense, setting the target to try and, as you say, you're not going to say, I'm going to get to the quarters, or going to, like, I got to the semis of the British Open. Never really thought that was going to happen. Good shot, Greg. But it's great to get that run and sort of set that tone and try and build on that the rest of the year. That's sort of maybe the target, if you want to call it, build on something that you've already done. But as far as looking too far ahead, I don't try not to get carried away.
That was a great shot there from Greg, because the difference in having ball in hand versus now Karl having to play himself from a snooker is enormous.
Yeah, and you've seen the slide there on the cushions, that they're so brand new. That slide just sort of through the cue ball that wee bit further.
How much has this frame turned around? A moment ago, Karl Sutton was in absolute control. Now Karl's in a really difficult position, because if he does get back to the table, what's he going to do? Good shot there. bit nervous when you're that close to the ball like that. When you have to cannon out a ball, it's easy to overhit it, but just trusted.
Yeah, and a
the
double.
line he put it on.
You're worried about double hits sometimes too, aren't you? Yeah. Greg's just got one ball down the rail, and it should be one each.
So he got some insurance. He's not going to be thinking about missing this, but it's not a guaranteed loss of frame, even if he does.
Yeah, he's got that red covered, so yeah, this will make Greg feel a bit better.
I don't think Karl's going to know how he's lost this frame. 2 minutes ago, he was in such good control.
And that's the thing, so it can change matches sometimes, especially if that was 5 each, or sometimes just that swing, and then your head's in the bin. You're wondering how am I sitting here and my opponent's clearing up. It's torture sometimes, absolute torture.
Well, that was an entertaining frame. There was some good stuff played there, some good escapes.
A lot of time ran down the match clock as well.
So we get to see an overhead view of this great arena. So we're looking at the game obviously in the middle of the main part of it. 4 tables to the immediate left and right, and then a load more tables behind.
Yeah, and then that black, where you can see the very back, the sort of the black backdrop. There's 3 practice tables in there for the pros as well, and a bit of seating area. So yeah, it's absolutely superb, and what every other player that's in that amateur room should be busting their gut to get in here and play in this arena and challenge themselves.
Well, that's what you want, isn't it? Something to aspire to. I mean, obviously everyone's here because they enjoy playing pool and the social elements of the game as well. But essentially, if you're playing in the Challenger, you're aiming to one day be in this position.
Yeah, absolutely. Just having that buzz there too, but and that setup just makes it a wee bit extra special, doesn't it? Like, and the small touches of what they've changed too. It's very, very good. Oh wait, I'm gonna stop.
Well, there's a big difference if that white goes in. Obviously, game over for Karl, but not ideal. But he'd rather be at the table at least.
Yeah, he's a sort of tough opening yellow to the middle, hasn't he? But I think the only real other issue if he gets this yellow is the black, is the 8 ball that's up sort of by the red. Yeah, so it's been a good shot, but it's just the 8 ball now. I think. Not sure we can't see from this camera angle that it goes, but it looks tight, doesn't it? You got it there. It's tight.
Yeah, that's very tight, isn't it?
So there's no real issue with the yellows here. It's just that 8 ball.
And obviously have a look at that and you need to make up your mind. It's very easy to get caught in 2 minds of thinking, oh, maybe I could make it go, but you kind of got to decide in advance.
Well, him not actually taking more time to look at it makes me think it does go, because if it was something that, if it doesn't go, he knows he has to manufacture something off a yellow to kick it out. So it sort of makes me think that it does go. So maybe have to play a double here. Can he nip this enough to leave the white on the middle, is he? Must go easy enough, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, just the speed, as you say, that he's gone about this, he's not given it much thought. I mean, this shot needs some concentration as well. Made it look easy. Well, he's landed as nicely on it as he could. And there we are. It does go.
Easy enough. Sitting here worrying about that, the fleeing.
You've got to build the drama up somehow. It'd be an easy clearance otherwise.
Yeah. That was a very good break by Karl as well. We go out 7-1 to Josh Kane. Wow.
Yeah, Josh Kane's been a man on the up lately, and he's been a good player for a long time, but seems to be doing good things lately with Ultimate Pool.
The GOAT, as many call him now. The GOAT. Yeah, it's some break there, to be fair. You've been quite unlucky getting it off. It's good too as well for this, that you can dip in and out of these matches whenever there's a bit of time between the main table.
Yeah, we've got 5 matches that have got a camera on them, focusing mainly on this stream on the main table, and then on the YouTube stream. That's the one that we're looking at now. So John Chambers, a lot to do. Horrible position when you've got to win 7 in a row.
Yeah.
When you're already 7-1 down, it's not like there's much to draw confidence from at that point.
Yeah, that's the mountain we were talking about climbing.
Although, in a sense, you get to a point where you're so far behind, there's no real pressure anymore because you've mentally written the game off.
You let the arm go sometimes. It's a nice break by Greg too. It's better than the one he screwed in a minute ago. You can see he stunned that one rather than screwed. It's come out nicely for him. The yellows are sitting quite nice.
Like so many of the matches in this event, I mean, this could so easily have been a quarter, semi-final. I mean, these are two great players, but the last 32 it is for them.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's just, as you're saying at the beginning, there's no easy draws. I guess if you're the more experienced players, getting some of the new pros are probably the easier draws for these early events.
Yeah, there's no doubt that some of the more, let's say, what we'd say established pros are looking at maybe at some of the amateurs coming through and saying, they're the ones I want to play. Absolutely. Whether it be lack of experience on the main stage or for whatever other reason, but it makes sense. I can understand that. But there is some amateurs that have come through that have quite a great deal of experience as well, and are no stranger to the big stage. There's a nice shot there from Greg to control his bad yellow. But yeah, obviously you're trying to avoid the big boys like the Cousins and Dacky. But even at that, you're trying to avoid them. But you're not worried about playing them first 8. Yeah, Greg maybe has a wee bit of work to do here. Mark, he's a bit of right hand side to come through the gap. He's held it, yeah.
Yeah, the players are very good at judging. It's so easy to misjudge, particularly where you're trying to check up balls off cushions, but the top pros have really got the measure of this table now.
Yeah, so slightly. It's very, very slightly. But they will play in over the course of today and tomorrow. They'll play a bit more true tomorrow, I would imagine.
You have to say this has been a good clearance from Greg. He made it look easy, but it was that shot where he dropped down on the right hand side, just opened up the two balls that only had one pocket to go into. It's been a good standard of play, as you would have predicted from these two.
Absolutely.
So as we go over to the other side of the arena, Jaden Billingham leads Karl Morris by 7 frames to 3. We saw a bit of this match earlier on. There was the bizarre moment earlier on in the match where Karl tried to play a shot and found that the light was in the way. He wanted to jack his cue up and was complaining that the table light was too low.
Wow. That was a very poor shot there from a player of Karl's ability to not to play that cannon there. Very surprised he's missed that. Now he's in trouble. It's just, you said Jaden's on the hill there, yeah?
Yeah, 7-3 up. First to 8 as this match.
That's a big break. Karl has a massive cut break.
Yeah, it's become quite a thing lately, hasn't it? The sort of power cut break. It almost used to be two camps. People either hit it hard and went for the front ball, or they went for a more gentle cut break. A few people kind of mixing a combination of the two now.
I just can't do it. I don't know, I've tried it and the weight goes there and I'm running after the weight all day rather than... It's very, very difficult. I struggle with it. There's some people really, really do cream and Karl's running, he creams it there.
The advantage of that break as well, he set himself up a nice position. Obviously potting a ball is the first and foremost objective, but you also need to find a break that leaves you some kind of decent layout afterwards. Isn't much to choose between the players at the beginning of the match. Still no real guidance on the likely outcome after the first 4 frames. It's not a complete accident, of course, that we tend to see the closer frames on this main table, because we're able to select what look like being good matches. There's some other matches going on the outside tables.
Karl got a kick there. I think he's complaining the white sort of stopped dead on him. But it's not easy now. It's a tough clearance for Karl here. Has to control this one really well to just land in front of the yellow. He's come up the table.
Well, this is going to be difficult to join these last 3 balls together now.
The only thing I can think of that he's going to run this red through and leave the white sort of in the gap between the 2 yellows to play the one down the rail to screw back through the gap to come up onto the last red. That's the only.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got to leave the ball on the top rail until last, because otherwise he really doesn't link up.
Yeah.
So he's got to play that shot.
Yeah, that's what he's done. This one is just all about Kane, isn't it? Just hit just below the middle pocket with a bit of right hand side and come back up through the gap.
Yeah, he's just going to miss the yellow that his hand's closest to, is below his hand now, and then it's a fairly natural line.
Yeah, he's played it well. It's a great shot.
Yeah, I mean, he's made that look really easy. It was a fairly natural line, but he still had to make it.
Yeah, just had to cue it, didn't he? And he cued it really well. Oh, sorry.
This has been a good clearance.
Yeah.
The last 2 have both been good clearances.
Watch the white in the middle. Sorry.
Well, made that look simple, but had to play a series of quite difficult positional shots to sequence that together. He's always been very good at that. He's one of those players that, I mean, you wouldn't say he's underrated. He's been in 2 world finals, but sort of quietly goes about things. But very creative player when he's at the table.
Yeah, he's somebody that I don't know very much about, to be honest, Karl. I've very rarely seen him play, you know, bar playing for England when we beat Morocco or Blackpool last year. So it's the only really time I've seen him, and he's steady as a rock for the England setup, like. He's one of their go-to for the big frames. So, but as far as Ultimate Title watching him play, I haven't seen that much of him. But you can tell he's quality.
Very unlucky, really, not to win the world title last year. He played so well, and then Ronan McCarthy just found a second wind at the moment that he needed it most.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, wasn't it?
So it will be Greg Batten to break off. Trails by 2 frames to 3. Long way to go still, race to 8, so plenty of time to get back into the match.
Yeah, Greg would be happy with another one of those breaks the last time. Straight through the centre of the ball. Oh, it's really dry. It is. Oh, a bit unlucky too, he's hit them well.
Yeah, perfect view of that break. You could see all the spin on the white, but just all kind of neutralised, just managed to park it in the middle of the table.
Karl, I'm going to assume he's going to take reds, and he's just got that one red that's to the right of the table beside them 2 yellows. So that's to try and work out how he gets around to there.
Yeah, he made a good clearance in the last frame. This is equally as awkward. He's already used his extension, so got to get on with it. It's one of the players that's been here since the beginning on Ultimate Pool, so got pretty used to that shot clock by now.
Yeah.
It used to be that when the shot clock was counting down sort of 3, 2, 1 seconds, you'd see people really racing around.
Yeah.
Now everyone just looks that bit more relaxed. They seem to know exactly how long they've got.
It's that wee bit more experience with it, isn't it, really? Just I think he's going over for this one now, or either to try and kick it out or try and play on it. Because he can also play the 2 and 1, or the sort of combination, can't he? Oh, he's played a tremendous shot there. Very good. That's class.
Yeah, that really is a class shot, because you're loading it with a load of side, but you've got to judge the contact right. If you catch the pot too thin, then you end up in a completely different position.
Yeah, it was a class shot. And now they all connect. This. The only real issue I see, Mark, for card here is the 8 ball. The red on the right in the middle connects for the red above the yellow, so it's going to be interesting to see what way he goes about these. Oh.
Well, he'll definitely settle for that result. That could have gone wrong.
He might end up having to play the 2-1 with the yellow over the pocket here. I think that might be the only...
The fact that yellow's so far into the pocket means it's not actually that hard a shot.
Yeah.
If he leaves the ball bottom left until last, tries to get as straight as possible on it.
I think that's going to be the 12, unless he leaves some sort of angle that he can come off the side cushion, back cushion, and play the red and the black into the middle, 8 ball into the middle, but I can't see it.
The combo's fine if he has to play it. If the yellow was further from the pocket, you'd be less keen.
I think he's just going to do that, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's got pretty much the perfect place. He's just going to kill the white or draw it back an inch or two. Well, he has forced his way around.
He did. What a shot that is.
Played it well.
This is a fantastic... Bar that sort of third last shot where he got a bit lucky, this has been a fantastic clearance.
The good thing about the way he played position for the last red was that if he was absolutely dead straight, he could play the combo. If he just had a hair of angle, which he did, that was exactly the angle he wanted to run round those 2 rails.
Yeah, he played 2 great shots with a bit of side on that frame. That frame with the red over the pocket to come through the gap to take the awkward red, and then that last red to get on the 8 ball was top drawer. It was a great finish.
It's always hard to start picking out winners when you're still at this stage, but cast your eye around the room. I mean, this is as well as anybody is playing. John McAllister, we saw on one of the outside tables on the YouTube stream, he played really well. Karl seems to be in great form. The key really on the Friday is just to play your way through. We know everybody's going to have 3 matches today. We're going to play down to our last 8.
Yep.
You just want to get into that Saturday, come back tomorrow morning in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, you want to get through today, don't you? Really, that's the aim.
It's a great view, this, isn't it? It's amazing to see all the stuff that's going on around the room.
Definitely, you get to see this cup break again from Karl. I think he's second ball down, isn't he? Yeah, look at that. It's tremendous, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when some of the top pros were a bit dismissive of the cut break and made it sound like it wasn't a proper break. But you try this one. I mean, it's one thing to play the gentle one, but when you're playing with that much pace...
They've come out horrible, though, haven't they, here? They've come out really bad for him. Could be a bit of play in this frame. 24 minutes left, too, on the match clock.
It's a wild generalisation, which isn't always true, but that cut break does tend to leave slightly more clusters than the front ball break.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not interested at all, unsurprisingly, in going for a clearance.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of play here, I think, in this frame. This could be the longest frame of the match.
It's one of those ones you just don't really want to be the first one going for the aggressive action because it's at a low percentage.
But at the same time, Greg probably has to push the boat out a bit quicker than Karl does. Obviously having that 2-frame deficit, so I think you might see Greg going just before Karl.
Yeah, the scoreline's so important in this kind of situation. Not at a stage when anybody's thinking about the clock running out, but at the same time, if you're Greg, you don't really want to be in a 10-minute frame here.
No.
It's not very easy to see how the deadlock's going to be resolved until they've played quite a few more shots because it's such a big cluster now.
Yeah. I was just looking through some of the results, Mark, from the Pro Stage so far. I didn't realise that Sean Ice had beat Cole Bedford, the British Open champion, so that's a good win for Sean.
Yeah, I commentated on that match. He went 1-0 up due to a mistake from Cole in the first one, but other than that, he was behind and sometimes behind by 2 or 3. It just kind of hung on in there. I think Cole will feel like he threw it away a bit, but Sean, I mean, it was just a masterclass really in staying true, and then made a good clearance in the last one.
Very good. See Ollie Beale come back and beat Sean Story 8-7 as well. John Chambers has that game out there back to 7-3. So John must have got the Reds that time we were watching.
It's a nice thing of a first to 8. You do get a chance for a few swings in momentum. A lot of matches to keep track of, aren't there, at this point?
Yeah,
round of 64.
Yeah. And Jaden got over the line against Karl Morris too, and sets up a great price against Stevie Dempsey. That'll be a good game.
We were trying to figure out earlier on what the age difference was between Jaden and Karl. I think it's probably the best part of 30 years.
It's probably the same in weight as well. It's probably the same for Stevie. Yeah, I enjoy the hammer. He's a very good lad.
Well, we're going to be seeing him next on this table playing against Stevie Dempsey, so a chance to see what he can do. Young man making a big name for himself already.
Yeah, Jaden has been superb, hasn't he? And come through the Challenger Series last year, with ease, more or less.
It's fascinating. I mean, there's a real blend of different pros, people at different stages of their career. Got Karl Morris, who's obviously been around for a long time. In previous years, we've had Ronan McCarthy, the likes of Brian Halcrow, who's a seasoned campaigner, and a few of the young guns coming through alongside them.
Yeah, it's good to see the young lads come through, and even with the next gen, it's just gonna get even more and more of them coming through. Some great young lads playing in that Challenger Tier 3 and Tier 2, so there's no doubt that the game's in good hands, and there's plenty of them to come through and carry the torch and keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you've got to take your hat off to the likes of Phil Harrison and the kind of players that have been at the top of the game for so long, because it's not just keeping your own level, but every year there's a bunch of new challengers throwing different challenges at you.
Yeah, longevity for the likes of Phil and the players that you've mentioned is still to be doing it at the ripe old age that they're doing, and still being able to compete. Shows you how class they are too, doesn't it really? Like,
the challenge as well for the players who've been around longer is finding both the motivation and the time to practice.
Yeah.
See, for the young guys, all they want to do is play pool all the time, and it's a much bigger part of their life. They probably don't have family and other commitments.
Yeah. It's been another fantastic clearance from Karl. Straight red, hole for the black, hole for the 8 ball for a 5-2 lead.
Right now, it's hard to find much of a flaw in Karl Sutton's game. It's been a very high level pretty much from ball one of this match.
Yeah.
As the referee racks up the ball, take a look around the room again. A similar setup for the main arena for those that came to Clash of the Titans at the Brentwood Centre 15 or so months ago. That was a great atmosphere for that one.
It's great to see even the spectators there sitting watching, and the people at the back, going around it. It's fantastic for elevating the game too, and having an audience there for watching. So it's definitely in the right way. Or going the right way, sorry. See Greg switching to the cup break here.
Yeah, something that's not going the right way from Greg's point of view is the scoreline right now.
He's hit that a wee bit softer than Greg would hit his, or than Karl hit his, and they've come out lovely, haven't they?
Yeah, I'm not surprised he's switching up a bit. Wants to make something happen off his own break.
Yeah, he's giving himself a great chance here to get one back.
This is now quite a crucial frame because 6-2 is starting to get quite big with only, it's probably going to be 15 or so minutes remaining after this frame's been played. 5-3 is alright, it's not ideal obviously, but a couple of frames don't feel like that much at this level.
Yeah, you don't want to be 1-6-2 down, especially when you have a good chance here, and if he somehow seems, you know, either to mess these up or miss one, he's going to be in his chair devastated, knowing it could be 5-3 and then all of a sudden it's 6-2 and you sort of feel like the game has just gotten away from you at that stage. Yeah, he match these up quite well. And I'm going to assume the ball at the bottom of the rail is going to be his last ball if he clear these three first. I think he's played that quite well. I think he's underhit that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was so scared there. I think he just thought he couldn't hit it gently enough, but
yeah, now he has to play the cannon into the yellow again. Yeah. Yeah, he's playing it well.
Yeah, that was the kind of shot that if it came off, the cannon probably did him a favour, but if he hit that too full and punted it past the pocket, that wouldn't have been so good.
He would love just to land anywhere on the line of the breaking line there, just to give himself enough angle to float down onto the back cushions. So can't see him trying to get too close to this. I think he just take his medicine and leave himself the distance and along that line somewhere. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, exactly what you were talking about. That line down the middle of the table acting as a guide.
Yeah. And now he can just float this in and probably going to leave himself a long 8-ball, but back himself to pot it.
It's looking a lot smoother. We said earlier on there was that miss where he decelerated. Since then he seems to have regained the timing.
Yeah. There's two ways he can play this. He can just drop it in and take it to the bottom right, or he can stun it in and take it to the middle. And he's opted to stun it in and take it to the middle. Yeah. That'll make him feel a bit better.
Good stuff, and came at the right moment, that one. 5-3 at least keeps this match somewhat in the balance.
Yep, you just want to give yourself a chance, and Greg's done that with that clearance.
Also, it does matter what happens even if you go on to lose the match. This is one of two events this weekend. It doesn't do much for your confidence if you get too big a scoreline against you, so just want to try and feel like you're part of the tournament.
Absolutely, it's all about that first match, isn't it? I got a bye tomorrow in the second event. I was meant to play Sean Chipperfield, and oh, there we go. Oh, it's all over.
So Josh Kane completes the win over John Chambers, 8-3 on the second featured table. Meanwhile, back here, frame 9, Karl Sutton to break off.
Yes, it's a cut break by 3 balls there, Scott. Again, a lot of them have went to the left-hand side of the table there, haven't they? He gets the two corner balls in each corner. Bottom right, the bottom left ball into both corners, which is...
You do sometimes wonder with that break whether the extra pace is helping you, because we've seen players do the cut break much more gently than that and get a not dissimilar result.
Yeah.
Very table specific as well. It's hard to guarantee. You feel like you turn up to a tournament with a break that's been working well in practice and then it doesn't for whatever reason work on the match table.
You see Karl a wee bit annoyed at himself. He tried to flick that yellow on the way through to playing that last shot, so it's a wee bit more work than he would have wanted in this finish.
And this is what Greg's got to hope for, really, because he's going to need something off one of Karl's breaks. He's not going to get enough of his own chances, and missing open play would be absolutely ideal for him.
Oh, it's unlucky.
past the 15-minute mark. Another 5 minutes at the regular 30-second shot clock. And when we get into the last 10 minutes of the match, we're dropping down to that accelerated 15-second shot clock.
Yeah, if this goes a wee bit longer, we could maybe bring in the 6 red shootout here.
Yeah, it's a match that, if it gets close, is definitely not destined to finish. If Karl wins comfortably, there will be plenty of time to get it done, obviously.
I'm not quite sure what Karl's doing here. Is he playing the back double, or is he just going to play this straight and come back out and leave himself another double? Is that the thought process? Yeah, they have to solve the double. That's the only thing I can think of. This will be some shot if he gets this.
Yeah, the players are excellent at doubling the ball, but this kind of shot from a wide angle into the corner pocket is just not that easy to judge.
Especially with the slide as well, and the new class, so that'll be impressive if he gets it. He has to hit it quite hard, I think, so the white sort of, is he going to run through for stun off the yellow, or is he going to scrape back? He would have been on it. So Greg's got what he's wanted.
He's also not only at the table, but got the luxury of time here, because he doesn't have to go for anything with the position of the red.
Yeah, he's just going to develop these 2 yellows, isn't he, and let Karl have a slice at the red, because that's all he can really do. See any value in just touching the red? Like, he's going to be in trouble every shot.
It's going to do well not to leave a shot at a yellow after this.
Yeah. Some effort.
Yeah, it was a quarter of a ball away from being absolutely perfect.
I still can't really see Greg going. Well, maybe he will. Maybe he will. Yeah, I thought Greg maybe would have put another yellow up in that direction. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
It was the fact that he was able to pretty much guarantee getting the 8 ball out there made it a bit easier to make that choice.
Yeah, and he'd probably leave the yellow to the right hand side of the table to his last. Saying that we don't know, he might play it, yeah. It's just about holding himself together, isn't it? These 3 roll-ins here, really.
Yeah, and then suddenly, if he can hold himself together, 5-4 is a very different scoreline. Decent shot there.
And Greg will be delighted to be 5-4 with the way Karlos played. You know, Karlos has 3 or 4 really lovely, nice finishes, like, so Greg will be over the moon to be 5-4. And it's Greg's break, isn't it, as well?
Well, this is a match that suddenly turned around. It looked like Greg could have slipped 3 or more frames behind, but now gets the deficit just back to a single frame. Now he's not thinking about respectability or anything like that. He's thinking about getting himself back in and getting ahead in this match.
Absolutely.
Well, it's very serene around the rest of the room at the moment. But, you know, the day goes on, and particularly as we move towards the final of this event and some of the other finals that we'll be showing tomorrow, it's going to be a pretty loud atmosphere out in the main arena, you imagine.
Yeah. Again, another shot. There's class. Chris
Day needs this clearance. He's finding himself 7-6 down in this match. He needs to find a way, otherwise he's going to be out of it.
Good shot. We're a minute 44 away from the clock changing.
Both of these players pretty adept with the 15-second shot clock, but I don't think either of them would love it. They both generally probably would use a bit more than that for an average shot.
It's another nice controlled cup break, not too much power there. Even though Greg has those 3 yellows and a red tied up, he's got a chance to play the yellow on the rail and kick into them here. He would love to come up and hit the top yellow of the triangle, foot in the face. That would be the I'll open all three up for him. I'm interested to see how Greg sees it. Oh, he's been a bit unlucky there, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's one of those ones on another day, those two yellows separated in both pot, and life is so much easier.
He's been very unlucky there.
See the ball to the top left corner, but what comes after that?
Is there an argument for playing the lost turn and putting the white behind the two yellows?
Yeah, it's not tempting to go for a finish from this position.
Yeah, he sees it. Get the white behind those two yellows. He'll be delighted. It's a great shot. Very good. And now Karl's just gone favourite for the frame.
So powerful, isn't it, that loss of turn shot? It's just a key part of the tactics of international rules.
Yeah, it's a great, having that in your weaponry is a great attribute, because some people don't see them. Some people don't see those shots, and you just lose out so much if you don't have that in your game.
So we had that chime in the background. That means we are into the last 10 minutes.
If the left yellow of the two together goes to the same pocket Greg's popping this thing, you just float this in and come off two. Yeah. Oh, it hasn't hit it, has he? It's tight. But if he's looking at it now. Yeah, he must be on it.
He's scared by the pace of the table. We've seen him underdo a couple of shots, but it's just largely because it plays so fast.
The inside one went too.
Yeah, that was deceptive, wasn't it? From that angle, you'd never think.
Definitely didn't think the inside one was going. But yeah, again, with three drop-ins here for Craig to make a 5 each. He just has to control the even enough angle on the yellow down the rail to get to the middle. Oh, that's not what he wanted to see. Maybe he may have to screw back now. He may have to screw back and take the black into the opposite pocket. He wanted a small angle there, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a bit careless. That was the easiest of the shots he's had to play, and just slightly took that one for granted.
Yeah.
He should still be fine, but just a slightly more difficult pot than he would otherwise have had. Controlled it well though. He's left this very presentable. And no mistake. So the comeback is complete from the Pac-Man. He ties the scores at 5 frames apiece.
I would say Karl's probably sitting in a seat asking himself how's it got to 5 each too. But yeah, it's just a couple of small errors and running out of position on your last ball has cost Karl. But yeah, 5 each, and we're now into the nitty gritty with the 15-second shot clock too.
Yeah, neither player in truth is going to be feeling that comfortable. Playing a best of 5 effectively. Just under 10 minutes in which to do it. And yeah, the 6-red shootout. We haven't seen any of those yet this weekend. If the scores are tied and the clock gets down to 0, we would go to a 6-red shootout.
And I've never commentated on one either, so there's a small part of me who's like, oh, it would be okay to see.
I say, I think a lot of the players prefer it from this side of the the chair than the other.
Absolutely. I've only played in 2 of them myself. Only done 2, and they're not comfortable to play in. Not enjoyable. Watch the 2 left and right yellow. The 2 balls. They got the right one again this time. He hits that tremendously. Like again, got one of the bottom right hand balls into the bottom right hand pocket. So it looks like something's maybe worked on to get that. Because it's not easy to do that.
No, and I don't remember him quite having that break last season. I mean, it's been popularised. People like Sean Story have been pioneering that power cut break for a while now, but it's very hard to get right.
Sean Sharkey worked on it for a long time and he had it down to a point where he was able to get the second ball into the middle every time, and it was amazing to watch. I remember playing him, and raced to 21, and he got like the 10 breaks, he got like 9 times. It was frightening. But Karl will be a wee bit disappointed there that he didn't get that breakout shot that he tried that red, because that's only his real awkward ball. But he could maybe screw onto the alley here, can he? Yeah. It's tricky, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, just a hair more angle than he wanted. still got to take this ball.
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't got much else, but needs to get it out of the way anyway.
In the middle. Oh, it looks good. Good shot.
Yeah, that's really well controlled, isn't it? Made it look easy, but had quite a lot of angle to play with there.
These two at the bottom aren't all that pretty, because he has to maybe play this off the cushion off the red. Yeah. So he's relying to sort of not a wee bit of luck to see where them other two balls went, but yeah, he's not the lovely here, to be fair.
I'd love to be the first man to get ahead in this one. The clock is running down. Even a small lead in the score is so big.
Needs to really grip this one to avoid the yellow. And oh, just about fell.
Yeah, that's a shot that it's very easy to catch too thin, and you end up coming far wider than you expect to. He's really got hold of that nicely.
He's going to punch this round too, isn't he? Lead it over. I think he was playing for that into the same pocket, you know. I think there was an element that he was trying to get in behind the black, but he's landed okay on the double.
Well, you're still in the middle pocket, but the double is down. So Karl Sutton sneaks ahead by the odd frame again.
And this is the only time that the stop clock stops when it gets to the 15 seconds. I see that the match clock is stopped there. It stops, and only when it comes to 15 seconds. It doesn't stop any other time in the match. Am I right in saying that?
I want to say it normally runs. It normally stops for all racking in the Pro Series. I don't know if that's changed this year. That's in previous years. It doesn't in the quicker Monday night tournament formats, but the Pro Series it does normally pause.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Last season we were playing a race to 7, but still with the 50 minutes, so it was very rare to see time be a major factor like most matches were completing.
Yeah.
I quite like, actually, truth be told, this race to 8, because I think you get the odd one that will go to a 6 red, which is entertaining on this table, and it makes it a bit of a longer test for everybody else.
Absolutely. I see Greg probably go back to the softer cut break than Karl does. 5 minutes 53 seconds. He's got one. If that red just goes past. Oh, he's not on a red, is he? I don't think he's on a red. He's not.
Could be a big moment.
Yeah, all the reds join up too as well. And the thing is, you've only 15 seconds to map out your thought process. It's so difficult, like.
These frames all go a similar pattern where people normally end up using the extension at the beginning, so then they've got no more left.
Big shot. I can see that either wins or lose. It's a great shot. Great shot, Greg.
Didn't need to pot 2, but the fact he did is just an example of how straight he hit that. Just cued it perfectly. He's completely done that yet, though.
Yeah, he just has to land himself on down the side of the table to take that red to the middle. That's all he's looking for. Oh, hit it. Oh, he's played that. Yeah, played it well. You can just soft stun into the red and leave the white where the red is and push the red down off the cushion. Oh, Greg. And again, that was a decel. The decel caught him out again.
So he's going to have one chance here. He's going to have to play the ball top left and then leave himself an angle to come back down for that red that he's just got into trouble.
Yeah, he's looking sort of blue spot here, isn't he? If you were like snooker table, sort of in that area. So easy to overhit this as well, though.
Such a big frame, this one.
But he's absolutely nailed it. So he just has to take his medicine. He would love to get somewhere over where that the yellow is, over the middle pocket there. Anywhere over there, he'd be delighted. Oh, he's overcut it. But he's not. I wouldn't say he's out of this yet. It's a bit of work for Karl to do with that yellow on the side rail. But he can probably manipulate something to try and kick it out.
Great chance this for Karl if he can manage to find a way of. Oh, wow.
There it is.
That's gone wrong already. I was going to say, if he can find a way of clearing up, 7-5 with only 2 or 3 minutes remaining is going to be huge. It's got to get the first part of that equation right first, though.
There's an argument for Karl to screw this left-hand yellow in, and the white's automatically going towards the red, but with the screw back he should be able to, or he could just play the snooker. Probably the more high percentage shot, the snooker, like.
Doesn't mind wasting the time, of course, because he's the one with the lead at the moment. You never love, though, playing a snooker when your opponent's got a ball right over the bag like this. Cause
no, it's
if he
just,
hits it, it's going in, obviously.
Yeah, he also needs to hit it hard enough to get a bit of luck to come back up the table for the black. He can't.
Well, it wasn't far away, but it's going to be ball in hand for Karl Sutton.
So Karl just has to leave an angle to kick this yellow out. He's gonna up the screw it in. When he gets this, he sort of looks like the end of the road, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about getting that yellow out. Not.
I think that's all she wrote, isn't it, Mark? 1 minute 10. Can't see any way back for Greg here. That's not enough time to.
Yeah, there isn't, because even if he was to win the next frame, that's going to use up pretty much all of the clock. So as we go back to the outside table, Chris Day has got himself into a deciding frame. The score's tied at 7 frames apiece here.
He's on yellows, is he? He's in trouble.
Rob Chambers comes up to the table. Obviously very much in the driving seat here. That yellow is not in a good spot. It seems to be the way it goes in a deciding frame. Something awkward happens. So no real need to rush for a clearance. He can just tidy the balls up a bit, let his opponent make the running. Not least because even if Chris Day hits this yellow, he's going to spring the red out, which will be to Chambers' advantage. So 1 minute exactly remaining on the match clock as Karl Sutton breaks off.
Wants these 2 corner balls again. There he goes, he gets the yellow once again. So yeah, I think it's done and dusted. Karl's just going to run out the clock with the 15 seconds. He's got 2, 3 yellows, 2, 3 reds that he can just hook and poke about with if he wants. So
Strange position this. You don't really get this situation very often in a pool match. You do a bit more maybe in the end of a snooker match where you've already got enough points, but knows that it doesn't really matter what he does. Handshake there from Greg Batten. Played well in that match in spots, but I think you'd have to say really Karl was probably the better player on balance of what we saw.
He definitely was. He sort of seemed to be the more, what would you say, more sort of compact player there, and took out the finishes a lot more smoother than Greg did, and made more of his opportunities. So yeah, well done, Karl.